Welcome to EPG Pathshala. My name is Dr. Poonam Gulalia. I am faculty with the Tata Institute of Social Sciences. The paper that we are going to discuss is titled Fieldwork and Field Supervision, and the module that is going to be discussed with you now is titled Adult Learners. The content of this module is as follows. I would begin with the objectives with which the module has been designed. After introducing the concept of adult learning, I will move on to the principles of adult learning. This will be followed by discussion of fieldwork as an experiential learning process. Finally, the components of fieldwork and the adult learner will be discussed, and one will summarize the module. The objectives of this module are as follows: to enable social work students to relate to the discipline of andragogy in the process of fieldwork, to appreciate the relevance of experiential learning in fieldwork as an essential component of social work education. You need to appreciate as an adult learner that learning in itself is a continuous and a lifelong process which occurs in various forms. These could be formal learning, informal learning, or non-formal learning. Individuals at all stages of life are capable of learning given the appropriate conditions and opportunities. Although the field of adult education is relatively recent as compared to that of teaching children, it is definitely gaining momentum. The need to be able to cope with the challenges of daily living and enhancing the capacity for a better quality of life is what drives the desire of adults in contemporary times to upgrade their skills and expand their knowledge. In this process, the role of experience needs to be appreciated in making the adult education and adult learner relevant and meaningful in the given context. Social work education, you would need to understand, aims at imparting a professional body of knowledge, attitudes and skills with the purpose of enabling you as students who are young adults to be effective practitioners. Thus, fieldwork is an integral aspect of social work education curriculum as it allows learning by applying theoretical knowledge in the field to test its workability and to also help you build skills to practice with competence. This module is therefore developed to enable you as learners to both understand and appreciate the value of adult learning that embodies certain principles and techniques of experiential learning perspective to education in the realm of fieldwork within the broader social work education curriculum. Now, how does one define adult learning, and what would you understand as the methods and practice of teaching adult learners, or what is adult education? It is a theory that holds a certain set of assumptions about how adults learn. This notion has become particularly popular from the time of North America and Britain, where adult learning was thought of and discussed by a well-known sociologist, Malcolm Knowles. It was originally proposed, however, by a German teacher, Alexander Kapp, in 1833. Thereafter, it was only in 1921 that it was revived as a concept by emphasizing that adult education requires special teachers, requires special methods, and requires certain philosophy. Despite these efforts, it is essential for you to understand the history and recognize the importance of adult education as a unique aspect of education. In France, Yugoslavia, and Holland, this term was used extensively as a discipline which studies adult education process or the science of adult education. It was only in 1984 that Knowles pioneered this concept as a theory and as a model for adult learning and defined it as follows. He defined it as the art and the science of adult learning, or helping adults learn. As a result of these efforts, adult learning began to be accepted as a legitimate entity in the profession. The term andragogy is derived from the stem of a Greek word aner, man as distinguished from boy. A comparison of the assumptions of pedagogy and androgy are envisaged by Knowles as follows. This matrix which characterizes the learner's experiences, the readiness to learn, and the orientation to learning. If you look at the first column, where the learner is seen as dependent, herein the teacher directs the learner as to what to learn, when to learn, how a subject is learned, and tests whether it has been learnt or not. On the other hand, if the learner moves from being dependent to more independent or self-directed learning, the teacher or the supervisor encourages and nurtures the student to move ahead for self-directed learning. Coming to the next column, where the characteristic the learner's experience is highlighted, you would appreciate that teaching methods are didactic, whereas in the experience where the student is moving ahead in a self-directed space, the learner's experience is such that teaching methods include discussion, dialogue, and problem solving. This is a rich resource for learning and needs to be appreciated by you as a student learner. The third aspect is the readiness to learn. In this, by the traditional model, people learn from what society expects from them, so that there is a standardized curriculum, which has generally been our experience up to undergrad days. But in this new setting where you will be in the fieldwork setting, you will realize that people learn what they need to know, which implies that learning programs and fieldwork curriculum is organized in such a way that life skills are developed, and all learning is around application of life skills. Finally, coming to the aspect of orientation to learning, it needs to be appreciated that the traditional model required acquisition only of subject matter. So the curriculum had certain subjects wherein you were designed in such a way that the student would be required to give output as per the input provided to them through the subject matter. However, in the newer aspects, learning experiences should be based around experiences. Hence, fieldwork relies on experiential learning and is therefore relevant in this context. Reiterating what Knowles had understood way back in 1984, the premise on which, the themes on which Knowles based his assumptions were that the characteristics of adult learners are different from the assumptions about children or child learners. What are the assumptions on which Knowles speaks of the importance of adult learners? The first important concept propagated by him was that of self-concept. In this aspect, you would need to understand that as an individual matures, his or her self-concept moves from one of being a dependent personality towards one of being a self-directed human being. Therefore, you as a student and an adult learner would need to assert your self-directedness. You would need to encourage to take responsibility for your own learning in the field. It would also require that good practices which have been in operation in the field can help you as student learners to build and sustain a high self-concept. Lastly, you would need to be encouraged to participate in making your own decisions in the field in consultation with field contacts and paraprofessionals, besides taking into cognizance your own co-workers and supervisors. The second important aspect which needs to be highlighted is the value of experience. As an individual or a person matures, he or she accumulates a growing reservoir of experience that becomes an increasing resource for learning. Why is this such an important aspect for you? This is important because as educators of adult learners, we need to use certain experiential techniques which tap not only your own experiences in the learning process, such as group discussions, analysis of cases, simulation exercises, role playing, but also skill-based exercises. Other than this, many of you will get opportunity to go for field trips or exposure trips or undertake project work through the organization, which will give you a range of experiences to add value to your learning. You also would need to appreciate that adult learners require to be guided to make plans for applying the new concepts which you learn in your day-to-day fieldwork practice. There are many new experiences which will come to light to you as you move along. You will be required to unfreeze, so to say, certain educational experiences which you have had in the past, and many relearning will need to be incorporated into your learning experience to enable you to shed some of your preconceived notions and move ahead in a more objective way in the learning process. The third important aspect which needs to be highlighted to you is the readiness to learn. As an individual matures in his or her readiness to learn, the student becomes oriented increasingly to the developmental tasks of one's social roles. These are applicable as much in your personal lives as they would be in your professional lives. So the more you take initiative, the more ready you are to learn, the more open you are to your own fieldwork settings and to the inputs which are being provided to you by different stakeholders, the more beneficial it will be for you and you will enjoy your fieldwork learning. Fourthly, you would need to understand that there is an orientation to learning which is valuable in terms of the immediacy of its application to resolve problems with which clients or target groups approach you in the field. It will help you to improve your ability to cope with certain current life problems, but it is also essential for you to have a problem-centered or a performance-centered perspective so that you can add to your own learning. Fifth essential point here is the motivation to learn. Adults can learn, no doubt, but as an individual matures, the motivation to learn becomes an internal process. It is self-driven. It is your own desire to build on your existing knowledge and to enhance your capacity to improve, which will enable you to enhance your professional sphere of life. Having been through the basics of who and why an adult learner is, one would now move on to the principles of adult learning. The first essential principle in this context is that adults come to the learning situation with a well-defined self-concept, and their learning can be facilitated by helping them to build their own self-concept. The second essential principle is that adult learning is an emotional experience, both in the sense that certain emotions are associated with learning and also that learning occurs through feeling as much as through thinking and acting. Learning may be a painful experience as it also involves change. The third important principle here is that adults choose whether to learn or not. Fourthly, adults learn what they think is relevant to their lives and to their current life situations. And lastly, adult learning is based on experience. Now, why do we call fieldwork an experiential learning process? And what is the experiential cycle of learning? According to Cope, learning is the process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. Since experience is so integral in making the learning process meaningful and effective, it is imperative that you understand how this can be harnessed as a source of learning and development for you as an adult learner. Experiential learning is concerned with the experiences which adult learners bring into the learning environment, which in your case is the fieldwork setting, and therefore it is regarded as active participation rather than passive recipients of information. Subsequently, the power of control in deciding what is learned is shifted away from the instructor to the learner. In this sense, the learner, that is you, become responsible for your own learning. This diagram explains Kolb's experiential learning cycle in terms of 4 major quadrants. These are concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. All these quadrants together constitute the experiential learning cycle. A model of experiential learning, as has been displayed to you in the previous slide, enables you to understand that it is necessary to examine, as it offers a way of conceptualizing the process of experiential learning. Your own learning in the field would be such that there is a cycle of activities which consists of these 4 elements, namely concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and finally active experimentation. These 4 elements follow in a sequential order. There is a sequence to the set of questions which are devised for adult learners to articulate insights from one stage to the next. As the cycle is concluded, the learning provided the starting point for the next loop in the cycle. Thus, this model suggests that after an experiential activity, that is, after a fieldwork activity, each of you as student learners would be encouraged to ask the following questions. You would be required to answer the following questions for yourself. 1. What happened? Which is a reflective exercise. 2. What is the significance of what happened? Which implies that you will conceptualize on your reflection. Thirdly, what will I do as a result? Which implies that experimentation will be undertaken by you as a next step in the fieldwork activity. This model of experiential learning is extremely useful to enable you to internalize your learning through the process of reflection, analysis, as well as concrete planning for application of new insights which you would have gained in your fieldwork activity. This can be done in collaboration with your supervisor, who will enable you to learn this process and to implement it in such a way that you can utilize it for your own learning. This also lends itself to making the learner take ownership of the learning which has been generated by his or her own experience. So you take responsibility for testing out your experiences, generating more practice knowledge, and the cycle goes on. In this way, the cycle of learning remains continuous and dynamic, and the learner is actively and collaboratively engaged in the process. In fact, fieldwork as part of the larger curriculum has the scope to unleash such active participation from the learner, as it is a concrete method, it is a direct method, and it enables the application of knowledge under the supervision of an experienced field instructor. Having understood the experiential learning cycle and the importance and value of adult learning, you would also appreciate that fieldwork is an instructional design and learning process. It is experiential, it is instructional, and a learning component is also inbuilt into the curriculum, which means that it is direct and purposeful, and therefore it is necessary to examine here Dale's cone of experience. The theory propagated by Dale was that information is retained to a greater extent by doing, and therefore fieldwork is also known as the learning by doing, rather than merely observing, hearing, or reading. If you look at this cone carefully, you will realize that in the beginning you can see symbols in terms of text or verbal. Below that, pictures or visual symbols. Much below that, audio recordings, followed by demonstrations, dramatized experiences, contrived experiences, and purposeful experiences. Now, if you look at the cone carefully, you will realize that we begin from concrete, which is direct purposeful experiences, and move to the abstract of symbols, visuals, and recordings. This cone of experience is a visual model, as has been shown to you, and it is comprised of 11 stages starting from concrete experiences, day-to-day tasks in the field at the base of the cone, which increase in abstraction while moving upwards towards its peak. What does this symbolize? This symbolizes arrangement of fieldwork experiences based on the number of senses involved by the student learner. Subsequently, the base of the cone, which is the broadest, signifies experiences which are the largest in number and form the base of your own learning. This involves the greatest number of senses in the learning process and therefore is multi-sensory in nature. Contrived or stimulated experiences and direct purposeful experiences like internships and fieldwork add value to your own learning. Also, these experiences allow the learner to experiment on a day-to-day basis, as has been indicated to you earlier, and also enables you to apply your practiced knowledge to a much larger extent than the other more abstract experiences which you may have, or your own concepts of what you may have. This affirms one of the essential principles in selection and using of teaching strategies by supervisors and mentors. The more that the senses are involved in student learning, the more and the better the learning will be. The illustration clearly reflects the impact of the experiences in the cone on the retention by the student of his or her learning in the field as you move from concrete to abstract. Kindly see this illustration carefully, which is preceded by a very well-known quote, "I see and I forget, I hear and I remember, I do and I understand." So reiterating the learning by doing, you will find that doing and learning, learning and reiterating. So as revealed in the cone, largely 10% of what we read is what we retain, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear together, and 70% of what we say. Finally, it's only 90% of what we say and do that is retained with us as an adult learner. Therefore, its value in adult learning. Why are we dwelling on Dale's cone of experience at length? You would need to understand that Dale's cone of experience demonstrates the opportunity which is provided to you for utilizing a wide range of educational technology to create various opportunities to participate in the learning process, if you remain motivated and are active doers, so to say. With facilitators and mentors, supervisors and teachers facilitating this process of learning, as a student learner, you can become the source of your own learning and would remain more convinced about its worth and value if you apply this learning in practice settings. It is also important to state here that in social work education, since fieldwork enables adult students to consolidate their classroom learning, the academic inputs which are provided to you in the classroom setting, it is essential that you are able to put it into action in a direct and a purposeful way. This model then becomes even more important in guiding educators and supervisors to utilize educational technologies to boost participatory learning. Therefore, partnership and collaboration continue to remain an important component of fieldwork. No doubt, fieldwork forms an extremely fertile ground for generating enduring education and building the capacity of adult learners to create further knowledge. To summarize this module, it would be essential to say that if education is to remain relevant and is to be an empowering process, it requires that it builds the capacity of learners to practice in the field with certain values, namely integrity, perseverance, and also competence. It must also enable the learners to take responsibility for their own learning, to strive to innovate in the field in meeting the goals of development if you are required to contain and maintain a socially just and inclusive society. While designing instructional episodes for student learners, it is important to remember that adult learners are self-directed, are resourceful, are driven by the need to apply their own knowledge and learning to modify their life conditions in a positive way, and experience is extremely essential for the learning process. I do hope that this module has been useful to you and that you will also refer to the e-text and the references which have been placed at the bottom of the text. I look forward to further discussion with you on this. Thank you very much.